Hi, this is Cindy Casita, Coastal Properties Group, and I'm with Leah Negri, who is the General Manager of Platinum National Title again. And we had another question come up this week from one of our customers. I handled the buyer, and the buyer was getting a mortgage, and so when we got the final closing statement, he saw that there was title insurance charge, which the seller was providing a title insurance for him, and he also was having to have title insurance with having a loan. And so he felt like they were double dipping, as he said, on this closing statement, and he was being double charged. So I asked Leah today to talk about why it shows up as two title insurances and why it's important.
All right. Well, that is a great question. We do get that question all the time. So specifically in the contract, there are different things that state who's paying for what. And usually the seller is paying for the owner's title insurance premium, and that's the insurance given to the buyer from the date of the recording of the deed backwards to give free and clear title. And then if the buyer so chooses to get a loan, their lender also requires a title insurance policy for them as the lender. So in order for the lender to loan money, they do require to be covered for insurance. And so it's not a double dip. Thankfully, in the state of Florida, we have a simultaneous issue rate when an owner's policy and loan policy is issued at the same time. So they're actually getting a discount by doing both policies at the same time. So the seller pays for the owner's policy at the standard Florida promulgated rate, and then the buyer pays for the lender's policy, which is a simultaneous issue, can be anywhere from $25. I've seen it to $350. So it's just kind of a general premium there for that additional coverage. Instead of them having to pay the full rate on that loan value, and that's how title insurance is rated, or the premium is issued is based off of the sales price for the owner's policy. And if you were to just do a standard refinance, we have this question all the time when people refinance, I already got title insurance when I got my first loan. Well, every time you get a new loan, the lender requires title insurance. They have to be covered for their investment. They're taking a risk on loaning you money, and so God forbid you have to get foreclosed on, something happens, the bank takes the property back, that loan policy turns into an owner's policy for that lender, because that lender now becomes the owner of the property. So that lender needs to make sure that they have their coverage that they need, and they need to be protected as well as when the buyer gets their owner's policy, they're protected in that way. So it's not a double dip. It is clearly stated. The lender will tell you, you are always going to have fees for the title insurance for the loan side. The contract specifically outlines that the buyer pays for their lender's fees, title insurance fees for the loan associated with the loan. So thankfully, the state of Florida does, like I say, give that that simultaneous coverage so that you're not paying full price for the loan policy, as well as the seller paying full price for the owner's policy. So you do get that discount when both policies are purchased at the same time. So it's a great thing. It's needed. It's required. You really can't get around it. I've been in the business for about 18, 19 years. I've never done a closing where the lender doesn't want title insurance. So, I mean, it's just the way it is in real estate and the way that it works. But shouldn't be a shock at that point at the closing table where the buyer sees that there's title insurance being charged. They have been disclosed probably more times than they want to be. But it is definitely something that is required. It is needed, and it's not something that can really be, can go away or can just be totally wiped out. So
It's funny when it gets down to the bottom line, how much money you're going to have to bring to closing. They're always looking for that extra nickel, and they go, oh, I'm being double charged. And so this is why you deal with a professional title company like Platinum National Title, because they know their business. Thank you so much.